Yeah, the Church of England was, from what I gather, a rather religious tyrant ruling over people. And the founding fathers fled that. They fled religious tyranny. They were not idiots. They did not want what happened in their home country to happen here in the United States. So they set up separation of church and state. They declawed the church so it would never get its hooks into our government. When I started seeing red states putting prayer into their whatever, I was like, "Ugh, what happened to separation of church and state?" And it seems like over time, less and less adherence to that has been going on. Politicians bragging during elections about what religion they are. Like that's a huge important thing to help them get elected. And in some states, they still to this day forbid atheists from running for office. To this day. So yeah, I think the moment we started electing people based on what religion they were, this country started to go down a slippery slope toward where we are now. Enough of them have taken power in our government that they now can be very loud and proud about the fact that they want to get rid of separation of church and state. They want to force religion into public schools. They want to force the words of a fiction book, their favorite fiction book of choice, down people's throats and use that as an excuse to take away people's most basic rights. I'm sorry. Having a say over what happens to your body is the most basic right there is. Having that taken away is to become a slave. So yeah, the founding fathers knew. They set up our country the way they did for a very good reason. And the moment we stopped ignoring that reason and stopped ignoring separation of church and state, you notice the more Christianized our government became, the more evil and corrupt it became. It's called showing its true colors. I was able to ignore those true colors for 35 years when I was a Christian. But the moment I stopped being a Christian and I started seeing the belief system from the outside looking in, this is not a force of good in the world. It's a manipulative cult.